behind us or in front.
He's just going to do it on the big.
What are we asking? So just confirm they're heading south and try and find out where they are, approximately where. South. How are you heading south? Are you on channel? Not getting any response there. Last year when we went around that corner and didn't, I don't know if you got up.
No, he didn't get, we didn't get up.
I remember it from last year.
Is there water in there? It's not even that deep.
Right,
it's very good water, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll soon find out.
Get some for washing again. I know, it's the Melaleucas that take the water here.
So we didn't hear what she said about the well.
I remember reading it, the Melaleucas.
Yeah.
What's it like? This is lunch, isn't it?
Well, that's good.
Put it into this bucket first, makes it a lot easier.
We got Dixie there.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to leave the funnel here?
Jonah, you tickle it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that.
How deep is the well? Are you not disturbing the soil and getting dirty water that way?
No, over here at the bottom. That's still on there.
My dad would give me a hiding if I do that in one of our bowls. You're bringing all the soil up. What are you doing?
I'll do it now. Thanks for the reminder.
This is stuff you dream of.
Okay, here we are at well 40 after 2 spectacular days on the Canning. Behind us, behind the TEKO van is the graves of Michael Tobin and Mungkukutu, Mungkukutu speared Michael Tobin at the same time that Michael Tobin unfortunately shot Mungkukutu. He was speared. Well, in actual fact, he was speared twice. Michael speared in the face, and then he pulled that spear out, and then Canning came up to the Aboriginal guy, but stayed well away from him. And the guy had his spear pointing at Michael Tobin, and Canning said to Tobin, "Stop, stop, stop!" And he kept coming. He'd already been speared once, but he kept coming, and the guy threw his spear just as Michael Tobin shot him through the head, and the spear of the Aboriginal went into Michael Tobin's right breast, and he then pulled the spear out, said to Canning, I'm done for, and Canning didn't think it was that bad, but overnight they reckon the spear went in about 6 inches, I think, and unfortunately the next day he died. And it's a sort of sombre feeling that we have here sitting around the campsite, but at the same time we've been exhilarated by the driving we've had recently through the Canning. Luckily this year we've come along when the Canning has had heaps of rain. Everything is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Heaps of trees, grevillea, white gums, melaleuca, seas of beautiful glistening spinifex grass. It's just been the most spectacular ride. And today we've actually particularly been passing over some of the highest dunes in the Canning, and I guess probably we should ask Cobus how he feels the van has coped with that and how he's coped with that, actually.
That was an interesting day, quite stressful actually, because you mentioned before that we're going to go over the highest dunes. And the succession would be quite frequent, but it was good. I think we had a rerun at 3 dunes maybe. Obviously trying not to get the wheel spin going and doing what we can to carry as much speed as we go over, but it was an absolutely awesome day. We saw camels on the track. We actually got water from one of the wells. Was that well 41?
Yes, it was well 41.
Got some good water from well 41. The suspension performed like really flawless. We've got some good camera footage of that going today. So the car has a few niggles we got to sort out in the morning.
It's amazing how the car seems to be suffering a bit more than the caravan.
Yeah, I've lost a few bolts, but we seem to find some spare parts along the way.
So actually, you're not just running one TEKO suspension here, are we?
No, we're running 3, yours and Chris's as well.
Yeah.
So
Chris and I have the Tuffride suspension, and Cobus is testing out the new Adventure series, which has proven to be absolutely worth its weight. It's doing a great job keeping things nice and smooth.
Yep.
I guess the other question is, and you know, the thing we'd probably like to discuss is caravans on the Canning, because there'll be a lot of criticisms from people about bringing a caravan down this track. It's this 1,900 kilometre track of corrugations and something like 900 sand dunes. What have you done to try and minimise the stress on the track in your design work with the caravan and car?
So we've obviously started with really big wheels on the car. You know, we've done upgrades on suspension, we've done upgrades on drivetrain. Make sure we have enough power that we can actually build enough speed in the distance we have without destroying the dunes. So limiting wheel spin, and we've done the same on the caravan. So you know, we're running 35-inch tires on that caravan. We had to have a chassis specially made to accommodate those wheels, because no one in the industry that we compete in or we supply suspension to actually does anything with 35-inch tires. So it was something specially built for us, but for a purpose. I mean, I don't want to encourage anybody to bring a caravan on the Canning stock route if you see what this will look like in the end. But the purpose of the whole exercise is to actually see if we can manufacture a product that can stand up to what the Canning has to offer. It's not about proving that it can be done with a caravan. It's actually proving to ourselves and to the consumer that this suspension or what we manufacture is actually of a very high quality. And I think there's no testing ground in the world that can test durability like the Canning.
No. We have such a variety of terrain, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things I noticed, Cobus, because I drove behind you for a couple of days and just been in front just today, but following you closely, and I think we've got some footage of the underside of your caravan
As our topple.
as you've gone over the top. But one of the things I noticed about it was that even though the van is moving, and you'd expect it to do that, we're not seeing any of the bounce that I've seen with camper trailers.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's actually the fact that you have, you know, tandem suspension, so dual wheels on a side. So you know but it is a load sharing design. So what it's actually doing is when the one goes into the rut, the other one helps carry the weight. So the body is so static, and that was part of the reason I selected a tandem suspension. You know, it looks after the environment so much better, in my opinion, especially with the weight we're carrying. But yeah, overall, really happy with the outcome so far. It's awesome.
Well, I must admit, I've been surprised, because we have really, on the whole, sailed over those sand dunes, particularly given you're carrying so much weight behind you. You've done a fantastic job, Cobus, at sailing over that. Tomorrow night we're going to spend 2 nights in one place, and Chris is going to
look at some of the telemetry stuff, so maybe he could give us a little bit of chat about his findings over the next day or two.